Well, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, everyone, and welcome to the Premier League show, where we talk all things Premier League. I am Stan Kroenke. I'm standing in for Apollo this evening. And by the way, I'm the Stan Kroenke that spent 140 million pounds this window more than any other club. So I should be given some credit, even though I continue to get grief about not spending money. Neil, how you doing? Neil, a Liverpool
I'm
fan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, pity. We couldn't get another victory last week, but it's the way it goes. The way the cookie crumbles. I'm used to that as a Liverpool fan, beating the big top teams, and then the middle teams we kind of like just kind of throw the points away, which is same old, same old.
Yeah, but you're unbeaten, which says a lot, right? You have not
That's the
tasted
only positive.
defeats all year, and that's a good thing. And you have had some injuries with
Yeah, it's
Elliott
true.
being out, Thiago, and others. You have had some injuries.
Well, Thiago's back now.
Yeah, I know, but he was out before, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was out
Yeah.
before. He was out before. But yeah, I mean, it's Liverpool season in, season out. As well as they do, you count up the points from the draws, that could be winning the league again. And it's like that every season. So, it's something that me as a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of used to that. I like to know that as each season goes by, we draw less and less and get more points, but not not to happen at this. Well, last week it didn't happen. So we'll
Yeah, but
soldier on.
yeah, but look, I think when you're unbeaten, there's nothing to pull hold your nose about. I mean, if you're unbeaten, you're unbeaten. You've played 10 games
Yeah,
so far this season. You're scoring goals. Your defense hasn't been what it has been, not last year, but the year before that in the past. Hey, Cool K, good evening. How you doing? Good to see you again, Cool K. Or good to hear you or read you in the chat. Hope things are going well. No, I think Liverpool. Look, Liverpool is in a good slot, right? You're top of your Champions League bracket. You are what, second place in the league? Haven't
yeah.
lost a game all season. You have played
Mate,
well against the big teams. You have destroyed Man U. You played well against Man City. You played well against Chelsea.
wait.
Chelsea
Say
was
say
on.
that last bit again. We what against Man U?
You walked on top of Man U's head, and
Yeah.
that was a. Well, the strange thing about it is Man U does have a lot of quality in their team. It just doesn't fit together. People talk
It-
about Ronaldo and the quality he brings, but I was teaching my nephew that if he looks in the middle of the field, where Ronaldo, you see a patch being built because he walks in the same circle. He's not
yeah,
running
yeah.
until the ball gets in the box. So he may be great offensively, but in terms of scoring goals, but even the build-up play or trying to help out defensively, he's not there.
He doesn't need to now. He's not as young as he used to be.
Yeah.
He conserves a lot of his energy, and he's always in the right place at the right time normally, for most of the games that they play anyway. He'll pop up. So Ollie doesn't need to play him for the 90 minutes per game. He just needs to play him for the vital minutes during each game. And so far, he's proved he's worth the buy. He's done well for them so far.
Yeah, so Cool K saying West Ham will shock Liverpool this weekend. We'll get to that, Cool K. I have a friendly wager on that, and it's not in West Ham's favor. So um, we'll get to that game. I think Liverpool, when they have all the parts and pieces in their team, are a very difficult team to beat because they put so much pressure on you defensively and offensively. Most teams will great in one area and say good, very good in the other. They're great going both ways. So it's a difficult team to beat. So let's
And
go through some of the game. Go ahead, Neil.
yeah, no, I was going to say no. I agree that Liverpool, offensively, they're one of the best teams in the Premiership at this moment in time. When they're on their game, I'm hoping that they keep it up till the end of the season and give City a good run for their money.
Yeah, so we'll go to the results from last week. We won't go through every single game because to me, some games are not warrant discussing. We'll start with the first game, which was Arsenal playing against Leicester. What was your prediction for this game?
Oh, my prediction was it was an Arsenal win. It was
Wow.
definitely an Arsenal win. Arsenal they've been over the past few weeks. Arsenal have been doing well. They're on a nice little run. Um, and it's going to take a team at the top of the game at this moment in time to take them down. I couldn't see Leicester being that team at this moment in time.
Well, we were under caution somewhat, right, in the second half of that game. Ramsdale, whenever your goalkeeper is your best player, it does suggest you had some pressure. And he made two. Everyone talks about the save on the Madison free kick. I think
Yeah,
they forget this previous save he made, the fingertip save of Iñaki left foot that he took to me, which was going in actually, and he barely touched it for a corner, which is probably just as good, but didn't get the same notoriety as the save from the free kick. Maybe because the free kick, he had to go behind the wall to pull it out, but no, he was excellent.
yeah. When I was watching the game, I was thinking, Liverpool could do with a decent number two, just in case Allison gets injured. And watching him on that performance of last weekend, I thought, "Phew, you know, we can be a bit cheeky and maybe put a bid in for him in January."
For to do what? What do you mean? We're not. You don't. The five players we have in the back, no, six now, in Tavares' performance, are going to be there for years. People don't realize we're the youngest team in the league, right? Ramsdale is early 20s. So is
Yeah,
Tomiyasu. So is White. So is
Gabriel as
Gabriel,
well. Yeah,
Tavares, Tierney, all under 24 years old,
yeah,
and all very good players. So what you have to do now is build not your defense anymore. We have Saliba coming back, hopefully, a better player. So you have the makings of a very good defense, or back four plus support. All you have to do now is build the midfield and the forward line.
yeah.
Be
I
okay.
mean, your back five, if you include your keeper as well, just need a little
Well,
more
true.
time to gain more experience. That's all. But so far, I mean, you had a bit of a dodgy start at the beginning of the season, but that's well behind you now. That's well behind you now.
Yeah, yeah. We were on 3 with 9 goals against and none for, right? So we've come a long
Yeah.
way. Yeah, we come a long way. Um, what are your thoughts on your game against Brighton?
It's kind of disappointing, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. Props to Brighton. They did well to come back and stay in the game. Um, Liverpool should have run away with that. The amount of chances that we've had, as I said, it's something that we do week in, week out. And there was bound to be a game where, and I know I keep harping on about United, but there was bound to be a game with the amount of chances that we have per game that we're going to get it right. And we're going to score plenty of goals from all those chances we get. Um, but unfortunately, it only lasted for one game. It was the best game, obviously, against United. You ask any Liverpool fan, that's the one team that they want to thrash every time, over any other team. But yeah, it's a pity that we just couldn't bring that flow back into the Brighton game as well. Yes, as we were saying before, unbeaten, but it's only 10 games in, to be honest. So there's still plenty of games and still plenty of points to get. Hopefully, we'll turn it around and we'll get the points to get to West Ham. But we've got West Ham next, and then the weekend after that, we've got you guys. So it's going
Yeah,
to be an
well,
interesting couple of weeks.
I'm hoping that international break, you guys eat a lot during the break and don't come
Yeah,
back
then we
too
get a
fit.
lot of injuries too.
I don't want to wish injuries on anyone, but hopefully you're not at your best when you play us because we struggle with Man City and Liverpool for the last 5, 6 years. Really struggle.
Yeah. Hopefully
Um,
you'll carry on struggling against Liverpool at least anyway.
we hope not. Um, Here's one question I have for you. What are you guys' thoughts on Salah? I see him to be the most selfish footballer ever. I watched him
Oh,
in maybe against Atletico Madrid. He had a pass to make. I think it was to Jota, one on one with the goalkeeper, and he decided to dribble the ball, try to score. And I'm thinking, I would lose. No one Amani and him have problems because I would lose my mind if I'm playing beside you, have a chance to put me in, and you decide to dribble towards the keeper, and I didn't score by the way.
Salah is one of the forwards that every team has to have, because he brings a lot to the game. But bringing a lot to the game also means that he brings a very selfish side to him as well. Um, I can't remember what game it was now. Was it against Wolves? Um, where Jota had the opportunity and Salah basically took the ball off him and missed the goal anyway. But if going back to Salah, yes, if you see the amount of chances and you count up the amount of chances the guy gets per game, realistically, he should be winning that game by himself. He
Yeah,
has that many chances at times. Yeah, there was jokes going around last season that him and Mane didn't get on because of him being purely greedy. And you can tell by sometimes when you see the team play, sometimes you'll see Salah could be in a good position, and sometimes they won't pass the ball. Mane will a lot of the times take it on himself, and yeah, we think it's because of the greed that Salah has and the mistakes that he makes as well. But he gets so many chances, and he does still score a lot of goals, which we have to kind of forgive him for.
Yeah, no, we'd love to have him. Frankly, any team would love to have him in world football. But that play stood out to me this week when I was watching the game in midweek. I shook my head, saying, "Why would you not just roll the ball? I mean, you score a lot of goals. I know you hadn't scored in the game as yet. You score a
Yeah,
lot of goals. Why don't you just let your teammate get one?" But
yeah.
um,
I mean the United game, and I keep going back to that because it was a great result. Um, he was a lot less selfish. He got a couple of assists in that game, which was very surprising. But you know what? We were happy that he actually, when he cooperates, he's really good.
right,
With getting assists or getting uh, someone like Firmino in for an assist. But when he's got his blinkers on and he's thinking, I have to score, I have to score, I have to score. Every opportunity he gets, he shoots, whether he's in the best position or not. And it gets a bit annoying at times. But then
yeah.
again, we still got a very good player, and he's still producing the goods a lot of the times when it matters.
What were your thoughts on the Crystal Palace Man City game?
That was a surprise, even though they went down to 10 men. That was a big surprise. I was happy at the same time, obviously. Um, but yeah, what more can you say? I mean, Zaha's the man. Zaha is the man. And Gallagher had a blinding game. He scored a goal and he got an assist as well. Um, yeah, it was brilliant. The fact that Laporte got sent off for a silly mistake. Hopefully he'll do that again tomorrow as well. But then United fans would love that, wouldn't they? Actually, no, he's not playing tomorrow because he's off now. He's banned.
Yeah, he's
But yeah,
banned.
they
It's a straight red. So,
straight red. Yeah,
but here's what
straight
was
red.
surprising, actually, Neil, which is in the Arsenal Leicester game, Evans took down Aubameyang the same play.
Yeah,
In fact, even probably more blatant, because it was more in the middle of the field. Laporte was more
yeah.
to the right, and he got. I don't remember if he got a yellow. He got a yellow card.
Got yellow
He got
card.
a yellow card, which to me was a blatant red because there was no cover. He would be in on goal, and I can't understand why the referee didn't make that decision. Made no
It's
sense to
about
me.
interpretation, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, if you have no defender beside you to cover for you, if you're the last man and the forward's going to get by you, and the ball is going straight towards the goal, not going to the corner, then how can you give a yellow card? If you're going to give a
Uh,
foul there, if you're going to give anything, you have to give a red.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not a ref, and I don't claim to know what they know, but it's a lot of time it's about their interpretation,
Yeah,
and you've also got to look how the game is flowing as well. Um, Unfortunately, the refs don't always keep up with the play, and they're quite behind sometimes or in the wrong position. Even though the linesman sometimes is in a better position, it still doesn't come across that that player should have gone straight off, and they let him off.
yeah, yeah. I do this to Gallagher sometime on Talk Sports when he sort of they walk him through some examples of the weekend and give his perspective. And a lot of times I agree with him actually, but I do think referees protect referees sometimes. Very reluctant
Yeah,
to call them out, but yeah, I thought it was a strange decision. Just given subsequent to that, we had a situation with Laporte and Zaha and Laporte getting a red card, which I thought was a little bit harsh on Laporte's part. I'm not sure it was totally trying to drag him down. He was holding him, and I guess you pay the price.
yeah,
But I
and
think, yeah, go ahead.
now I was going to say that normally when you get an example where a couple of players are tangling, um, depending on what's happened previously during that game, the ref sometimes thinks, well, the player who's been dragged down, maybe he's play acting, he's trying to make it
Yeah,
look the worse than he is, and that's why it comes back to an interpretation. So
right.
if you like, for example, if Laporte had been grabbing Zaha at every moment, then you say yes, he's going to get caught and he'll get yellow card. But yeah, for that to be a straight red, yeah, it was strange. It was strange. But then what
So
what can you say?
Yep. So 18 is saying Salah is the greatest winger in the history of Premier League. This notion is included with the best Ronaldo, Hazard, Giggs, Perez, and Lumber. I do look. It's a fair point to make. I think Ronaldo did extremely well at Man U, and he was much younger when he came in, and left at a pretty early age. Also, Hazard was brilliant for Chelsea, but Salah scores a lot of goals. That's the one thing he scores like a center forward.
Yeah, I
And he
mean,
also creates goals with his ability to beat defenders. So
yeah, I mean, if you look at Salah, I don't totally agree with that. I don't think he's the greatest yet. I still hope that he's going to be with Liverpool another couple seasons, which is going to be really hard. But hopefully he will become what we would call a legend. I mean, he's on his way there. He's almost there. If he stays at Liverpool long enough, um, and even ends his career at Liverpool, he'll definitely become one of the legends.
I actually think he's a legend already. I mean, if you've won a Champions League, you've won a Premier League, which Liverpool had never done before. He won the Premier League. You have come close to winning the Premier League. If you didn't have a Man City, you've scored goals in abundance. What more do you have to do to be a legend at Liverpool?
Okay. I've got a question for you. I've
At
got a
least
question for you.
contemporary legend, not the Ian Rush when he used to win everything in Europe. The
Yeah,
contemporary legend, contemporary
yeah.
legend.
But I've got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Speaking of legends, I was having this conversation with a couple of guys in a group that I'm in, an LFC group, and I don't see it myself, but they believe that Jordan Henderson is a legend
That's a
because
difficult
he's
one.
captained the club, and what the club's won under his captaincy. But
Look,
he's not the actual cause and the effect of those
yeah,
winnings.
yeah, the legend to me is a combination of your contribution to the team, couple
Exactly.
how well the team has done, right?
Yeah.
Now Liverpool has done brilliantly. He's captain the team. I think he's the most underrated player in Liverpool team. And the reason why I say that is because people don't see the work that you need to do in the midfield. And his long range passes is good. If you watch that pass at the weekend outside of his foot, that set up one of the goals. He
He doesn't
does
do
when
that
he
enough, though. He does
but
not
but
do that enough.
but here's the thing though, when he first came to Liverpool and for the first few years, he got a lot of stick because he wasn't playing as well, and you guys thought he should leave. In fact, he probably was on his
Oh,
way out the door.
definitely. He was Gerard's understudy, wasn't he? That's what I would call him
Yes,
anyway.
yeah, and he probably was being compared to Gerard. And Gerard is a legend, even though he played longer for you guys, but he
Yeah.
didn't win the Premier League. In fact, he slipped, cost you the Premier League title. So that slip cost you a title. So
It did.
and
It did.
yeah, Henderson could make a case that you know what, if I continue this trajectory for the next 3 or 4 years, I have to be considered in that category. And we keep on winning and maybe win trophies. Um,
Yeah, well, for me, he's got to do a lot more
yeah,
contribution.
but the legend. I mean, you got to be very careful with the legend because legend means you're beyond exceptional. Frankly,
Yeah,
you're in
exactly.
a you're in the stratosphere. I'm not sure
I don't see
Anderson's ability is not in the stratosphere. I don't think.
exactly. I was going to say I can't see how you can become a legend if you're not the best at your particular position,
Yeah, I'm trying to
because
think
he's
about
not.
any player who would be considered a legend who wasn't a great player but a great captain. I don't. Not like it's hard for anyone to sort of come to mind immediately. There may be some, but I do rate
Gerard,
Henderson. Yeah,
I,
but
I
Gerard
don't
was a
rate him as
great
much.
player. Gerard was a great player, right?
Exactly.
Great player. Great player.
Exactly.
Complete player, by the way, not just a complete player. There's some
That
players who
that's
are great offensively and some defensively. He's just a well-rounded player, very good player.
that's my view. I mean, you look at Alexander Arnold, great at going forward, great at crossing, great at dead ball situations, but he isn't that great at defending.
Yeah, he can't defend himself. He
Exactly. So
can't
would you call
defend.
him a legend because he can't defend,
The,
considering he plays as a defender?
but the thing about Alexander Arnold is his passing. He's De Bruyne. He's better than De Bruyne passing from out
He's
wide.
brilliant.
His
Don't get me wrong, he's
passing is
brilliant.
ridiculous.
I don't see why he's actually playing in defence. He should actually play in midfield.
No, I don't think he's a midfielder though.
He's
That's the
got the skills
thing.
for it. His skills are more suited for someone in central midfield who can pick players out. He has that skill.
I think
Yeah,
he needs the room to maneuver. Midfield is very crowded, right? To your left, right, before, behind you. On the wing, you only have players in front of you, beside you, not necessarily behind you. So the sideline obviously is a defender in a sense because you
Yeah,
go outside, but he would get the ball with a lot more space out wide than you do in the midfield.
he
And
would do,
so
and I agree with that. But
yeah, and his
he's a
passing
defender.
accuracy is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
his number one game or his position says he's a defender. That's what he's supposed to be
yes.
best at. And he's
Well,
not, you look at all his skills, defending is not his best skill.
no, he's not a defender. He's only a defender. His defenders are Matip, and he doesn't play on,
Those
Van
are,
Dijk
yeah,
side.
the Van
Matip
Dijk.
is a defender, and Henderson, by the way, that's why Henderson should get credit. Henderson will cover for him. He's not defending. He doesn't. You know what? I watched him about 3 years ago. You guys played Roma at
Yeah,
home, and he got destroyed. That was the first time I realized his defensive frailties. He got turned left, right, center. I'm like, this is not what he does.
that's
But
what I'm
it's
saying. He's
yeah, he's not a defender. He doesn't defend. He doesn't defend.
Don't
He
get me
can't
wrong.
defend. He can't defend himself.
We would never replace him, never replace him. But you know what? If he could defend just that little bit better, it would make him a more all-round player, a better all-round player.
Yeah, but his offensive game is it's beyond exceptional in terms of how he crosses
Of
the
course.
ball. To on that dime in your stride, you have to take a step back. You don't have to check your run. The ball's going to be on point from out wide. It's a nightmare for central defenders.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what the one thing that Liverpool do have is they've got good left and right wingers, which is in him and Robertson as well. Robertson, he's not obviously not as skillful, but he's just as good. He causes so many problems running up and down that wing.
and he can defend also. I mean,
He defends
yeah,
a lot better than
yeah.
Alexander Arnold, definitely. Yeah,
Alexander Arnold doesn't defend. What are your thoughts on the Manu versus Spurs game?
that I could only see United winning that even before the game. As much I hate to say it, um, Spurs hit it right. You know, they were looking for that brilliant, good-looking win, which they weren't getting over the past few weeks. Nuno's been under a lot of pressure every time, they didn't get the results that they wanted to get. And after, Liverpool had destroyed United last week, sorry, the week before, United were bound to bounce back. And, I'm surprised it wasn't actually more. They didn't score more, to be honest. But,
Yeah,
that man Ronaldo got his goal again, didn't he?
yeah, and he scored two in midweek.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant finisher, but look, he's a brilliant finisher. He had deficiencies in his game, but he's. I said but because to me in the Premier League, when you play the better teams, the Liverpools, the Man City, the Chelsea, you need 11 players playing both ways. You
Yes.
can't have a weak link because the talent is more equivalent. So if you're a
Yeah.
weak link, it gets really exposed. And because Manu's wingers are not the best tracking back in terms of Greenwood or Sancho or Rashford, you couple up with Fernandez, who doesn't play in the defense, but he runs around a lot like he does. And
Yeah.
if Ronaldo doesn't play in the defense, you have five people not playing much defense. And then what
Yeah.
do? You have six defenders, and your back four not that good anyway. So you're gonna
Exactly. I mean,
you're gonna be in trouble.
Maguire and Shaw. I personally think that they're overrated. They're definitely overrated, especially Shaw. I mean, he's done well a couple games for England, but yeah, he's got so many flaws, and you know, depending on who they're playing, so if they're playing a top team on their game, you will see how bad they are.
Well,
You know,
last year we played Manu. We didn't lose to Manu. We think we drew one, and won one. But I watched the game really intently, especially the Fernandes were getting all these kudos. And I said to myself, if I'm playing against Manu, I'm attacking him defensively
yeah,
because he really doesn't really. He runs around a lot, but he doesn't really defend, and
yeah,
he's always crying to the referee about something. Um, so between him and Ronaldo not playing defense, and then McTominay and Fred, they try. Pogba doesn't play defense either. I
and
just
don't
don't think
forget,
it's his forte.
don't forget about Fred as well.
And Fred, look, I don't think Fred is a terrible player. He may not just be at the level that you need him to be to function in a team of that stature.
Listen. I'm happy with Fred playing the way he is. As long as United have those frailties, I'm happy because most of the time the result's going to go our way and not their way.
Yeah, and they spend a lot of money, by the way.
Oh
Their squad is not cheap. I know
no,
that Greenwood and Rashford came to the academy and Lingard. Well, Lingard's not playing much, but their squad is not cheap. So I think
Yeah,
Liverpool
in
has
fact,
probably done the best job of all the teams in putting the squad together for a reasonable price.
yeah.
Actually,
The player I feel sorry for is Sancho.
yeah, I think he's a very good player, but it just hasn't happened so far. Look, I think he's playing with handbrakes on, right? So you come to a new
Yeah, but
team, a lot of big personalities. You don't want to express yourself because you don't want to, be thought of being selfish or trying to
I,
do
I,
too
d- I-
much, and he's curtailing his game.
yeah, I don't think that. I mean, when you look across the Premiership and look at the different teams, there's always going to be one team that's going to be best for particular players. Um, and I don't think Man United is that team for Sancho. Because he's not going to get the freedom he gets. Plus, with the stars that they've already got, he's just going to be biding his time, just like Neymar was biding his time at Barcelona when Messi was there. And Neymar ended up leaving because he wasn't able to express and be the player he wanted to be, because he wanted to be the biggest name in that team, and that was not happening while Messi was there.
Well, I thought Neymar got opportunities and expressed himself really well. The problem was he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. He wants to be viewed as the best player on the planet, and that will not happen when you're playing with Messi. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Messi's name just that just blew him out. He had to go somewhere else, recraft his game, and actually do well. And to be honest, look at him now. Where is he now? PSG. Where's Messi? Oh, isn't he at PSG as well?
Yeah, but the good thing though, the script has flipped, right? Because Messi's not playing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Messi's not being effective, and Neymar is not playing great either. And Mbappe is creating up a what to go to Real Madrid. So
Well,
they have
he's now
problems.
looking at leaving now, isn't he? He wants to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, he wants to get Real Madrid. He's going to go on a free, which is crazy, crazy money to give up. But good evening, Andrew. How you doing? Yeah, that's crazy money to give up on a player. I would sell him in a heartbeat. I'd
Yeah,
reinvest the
yeah,
money. I mean, go buy Haaland for that money. You could have sold him, take the money, overpaid, Dortmund to get Haaland, pay Haaland his $1 million a week that he wants, and be happy.
exactly, exactly.
What were your thoughts on the? I'm not going to go through all the games. The Aston Villa West Ham game.
There again, I was kind of surprised. I mean, yeah, Villa's been struggling, but I actually thought that they would have put up a bit of a fight. I actually, before the game, I thought that was going to be a draw,
Right.
um, and a low scoring draw as well, so like maybe a 1-1 or a 2-2. But West Ham, right now they're just a machine, aren't they? It's very difficult to stop West Ham scoring and doing what they're doing.
Where you get a chance this weekend?
Well, yeah, I'm hoping I eat my words, to be honest. I'm hoping that it's a Liverpool victory and not like a close victory, but 3-0 would be nice. That would be nice, but I can't see that happening.
West
Not
Ham's
with the
a
way West Ham
difficult
are
team to
playing.
play, right? They're a very balanced team, by the way.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
play
They,
both ways. They don't have necessarily have weak links. They don't have great players, but they have a very balanced team.
no, but West Ham are a prime example of a team that hasn't got the best players, but actually play as a team.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you don't need the best players to get victories. You just need everybody on the same page, playing and supporting one another. West Ham are doing that, you know, and everybody's kind of like underestimating them. But
right. Yeah,
10 games in, look where they're what, they're fourth now, aren't they?
they
Yeah,
are. They're playing well in Europe and playing well in the league. So
exactly. And at the beginning of the season, nobody would have said that West Ham would be in the top four.
yeah, they gave us a hard time last season. Both games we played in were very, very difficult games. They should have won the first game,
Yeah,
and the second game was very, very tough. So yeah, they're a difficult team to play. They're physical. They have decent amount of skills. Moyes has
yeah.
done a brilliant job actually. I think you see redemption subsequent to him being let go by Manu. Went out in the wilderness for a little bit. Came to West Ham. They got rid of him. He came back. He's really showed that he's a good manager.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. He's found his place. He's found his place. David Moyes has definitely found his place.
Yeah, and then we had Everton losing to Wolves. Everton seemed
Wolves.
to be in a skid. They started out really well, like Tottenham did, but they seem to be struggling now.
Yeah, the fans there, they're probably going to be blaming Rafa. They didn't want him to go there in the first place. Um, oh, clearly because of him managing Liverpool, their biggest rivals. But
Right?
yeah, it's just not working out for Rafa at Everton at the moment.
They
The
didn't. They
play,
didn't spend any money in the window though. I mean, think of it. They bought Gray for about 1 million. They didn't buy a lot of players. They spent poorly in previous seasons. They probably want to. We're probably we and them are fighting to see who are the worst spenders in the league. We have a bet, I think, as Everton and us. And they
Yeah,
spend
but they
about,
haven't got a Kroenke. They haven't got a Kroenke at the helm, though, have they?
well, Mashura is not a bad in terms of spending money. He has Asimov with him, and they spend a
Yeah,
lot of money. I bet they can spend about a £500 million, and they have none to show for it. At least we have the youngest team in the league with a lot of young talent coming through. What we have bought and what we have nurtured and developed, they don't seem to have that in their repertoire. And they've spent a lot of money. I mean, they bought the Keens of the world. They bought a bunch of different players who haven't materialized, or the Allens of the world, Rodriguez who left. There's so many players they have bought, and they bought Iwobi. They bought a lot of players. They're
yeah.
just not at the right quality.
And the thing is, Calvert-Lewin hasn't been that great this season. I know he's been out for a little bit, but
He's been injured for quite a while actually.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been
And
injured.
Charleston as well. That's another one. Um, when those players aren't playing or aren't on song, the
Right.
whole team, you see it. You see it from their games and their results. Um, yeah,
Well,
they can't.
Richardson's played non-stop football for about a year and a half,
Yeah,
which means he's probably burnt out by now.
yeah. But sometimes, when you watch him, sometimes he's on song and he's unstoppable, and other times you don't even know he's actually on the pitch
Yeah.
until So the commentator go, Richardson, oh, he's playing, was he?
Yeah. No, I think he's had a they've had a difficult. They had a good start, but they've had difficult last 3 or 4 weeks, just like
Yeah,
Villa, because Villa lost today, didn't they? Southampton.
yeah. They lost today. They lost today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are
Did
your
you get to
thoughts?
watch the game?
Not a lot of it because I'm working those times, but the end of the
Okay.
end of the game.
It's a
Um,
pretty entertaining game.
okay, okay. Who was his better team? Was it Southampton? They won their last two though, haven't they? They won last
Yeah,
week also.
yeah.
Yeah,
Southampton are on a bit of a rebound at the moment, so I'm hoping they do well enough and they start moving up the league now. That's one team that I've always thought, they haven't got the best players, but for some reason I kind of think that they always deserve to be one of the teams that you need in the Premiership.
right.
And yeah, so yeah, they're starting to put their results together. They're starting to look a bit better. They played well today, definitely well today. But then
Okay.
again, when you look at Villa, they're sliding down. They need something to stop that rot. If not, they will be relegated.
Well, the manager should be looking over his shoulder because these American owners who have big ambitions and we're expected to take the British money. They bought Bailey, they bought Buendia, who haven't worked out so well so far.
Yeah,
So he's going to
exactly.
be under pressure. He's lost what, four in a row or five in a row. He's going to be under a lot of
Yeah,
pressure.
today was the fifth loss, wasn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. What are your thoughts on tomorrow's game between Man U and Man City?
Oh, that's going to be a difficult game to kind of say who's going to win. When you look at Man United, as I said, they're on they're on the rebound now. They're on the bounce back. They dealt with Spurs. I actually believe that they'll get a result against City. City,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, I think they can. United just have this thing that when you think they're down and out, they pull that rabbit out of the hat. Um, you look at that game, everyone is expecting City to spank them. I actually think that Ollie will actually get his players playing well tomorrow. If not a draw, I reckon United will win that 2-1.
yeah. I mean, City needs a center forward. That's without a doubt. But
Yeah,
still, even when they had 10 men last week, they still had Palace on the cross. Even though Palace won 2-0, they still dominated possession. They need someone to people to put ball in the net. Grealish hasn't worked out well so far. And I've always thought it was a strange buy. So go get a center forward, you get another winger. You have Mahrez, you have Sterling, you have Foden, you have a bunch of people. You still go buy where your strengths
yeah,
are versus buying where you don't have that strength. So
yeah. But City are doing what Chelsea did many years ago when they first came into the money. They were buying every player they could, even if they didn't need the player, just so
yeah,
that the opposition doesn't get the player.
yeah,
And that's what I see. What happened with Grealish? I didn't understand them buying Grealish because he doesn't bring anything that they haven't already got.
yep.
You
And the
know?
problem with Grealish too is he has to change his game because at
Yeah,
Villa he played when he felt like playing, right? So he could just play offense and fake playing defense. Now he has to play defense.
Yeah,
and so it took a lot
yeah,
of your energy out of you. You can't be as offensive minded as you were before because you're so focused on trying to play defense, which is what happened to Pepe at Arsenal, that you
yeah,
lose the whole notion of how I go forward. But when I get the ball, I'm probably out of energy, and or I spent my so much time spending playing defense. It makes it challenging. So yeah, it's interesting actually to see why he
yeah.
bought Grealish.
I can
Um,
see why. I can see why they bought Grealish for a couple of reasons. One reason is that nobody else could buy him, um, and he wouldn't be against them like he was when he was at Villa. Another reason why they bought was to strengthen their squad. So not mainly their first 11, but the whole squad itself, because they're trying to hit on in every competition. And the more good players you have, the more you can spread them around, and the better you'll do in most of the other competitions as well. So from a squad point of view, he was an excellent buy. But from the first 11 point of view, I still question that.
yeah, Andrew's saying Aston Villa lost Jack Grealish, and look how it turned around. Yeah, I mean it's well, I mean, are we saying that the loss of Grealish is why they're where they are? I think they have other challenges apart from just Grealish loss. Grealish is not a prolific goal scorer. He does
No,
create opportunities for others by his mismatches he creates, but he's not a prolific goal scorer.
initially when they lost him, I actually thought they were actually playing better,
Yeah,
because sometimes when you lose what you consider as your best player, everybody else kind of ups their game, and then the team starts playing better on the whole. So initially, I thought they were playing better, but I mean, you can look at them now, and you can say and agree that um, they need a player like Grealish now, and they're starting to feel that through the results that's happening.
well, they've had some injuries, right? Bailey was injured, Danny Ings was injured, Ings has been injured.
Yeah,
When he left
Bailey's back
Southampton.
though.
Yeah, but he didn't play well today, from what I understanding is.
He,
Um,
he he played okay. He wasn't you know he
yeah,
wasn't brilliant, but he played okay. He's doing okay.
yeah, and then Danny Ings has been injured, who can put the ball in the net.
Yeah,
So they'll have to figure their team out because they're having some challenges. Five losses in a row does start create anxiety in your fan base, and we know what fans in the UK are like, which is they
yeah.
get
They
the
start
manager out
jumping
in,
for the head of the manager,
they
right?
start, and they're relentless. They're relentless when they go for manager's head. They're
Ask
relentless.
Nuno, he'll vouch for that.
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts on the Crystal Palace Wolves game? That's in the afternoon tomorrow.
Oh, that's going to be as you can see, Palace actually scraping that 1-0. Wolves are doing okay at the moment. Vieira, he needs to command that team to do a bit more, and they did last week. They did well, yeah, beating City. That's a good scout to have, but they haven't had results that I think that they deserve under Vieira at this moment in time. But
Yeah,
I can
we
see,
yeah.
I would say I can see them actually getting the result against Wolves.
Well, they drew with us and they should have beaten us, frankly. We scored a last minute
Yeah,
goal and they played better than we did actually.
yeah, they've just got.
And
There's just something missing from that squad. I'm not sure what it is. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
Gallagher plays well. Zaha was out for a bit. He's back. Eze is coming back, by the way. I think he was played for the under
do you
23.
know what? No
Yeah.
disrespect to him, but why is Benteke there?
Can't get rid of him probably.
He's just. Don't get me wrong. I would never want to hate on any player unless they play for United. But I just don't get why Benteke is playing football at Palace. He's not even good enough to be there. You know.
He's. I mean, when he was at Villa, he was scoring at will, right? And then he went to Liverpool, and you guys destroyed his confidence. Klopp destroyed his confidence.
Oh, blame Liverpool for that.
Klopp,
Yeah, blame.
yeah, Klopp destroyed it. I mean, he was brilliant at Villa, scoring goals for fun, and he went to
No,
Liverpool, and
no.
Klopp came in, and that was it.
No, when he came to Liverpool, he was not producing the goods.
No, no, I know at Liverpool because your style of play didn't fit him, right? He likes ball in the box to go up and get the ball. But
Yeah,
granted, he's gotten the games he play, he get these guilty chances and he misses, and you wonder what is he thinking.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
Andrew saying Palace do not have a clinical 20 goal a season striker. They're hoping that the kid from Celtic who they bought is going to be that person. We'll see if that works out well. Ogbondo, what his name is. He scored two in his first game, but it's a Premier League. You'll probably score two early and then it dry up. It's a difficult
Yeah,
league to
Premier
score
League.
in.
Yeah, but when you're a young kid and you're trying to apply your trade,
Uh,
especially when it comes to scoring goals, Premier
so
League
so
takes no prisoners.
it doesn't. Apollo said Palace is the league's best kept secret. Wait until Eddie. So which Eddie? We have a new person named Eddie. I wonder which Eddie. I know he's not talking about Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal because I'm not. I know it must be an Eddie. There must be a new person in their academy.
Oh, Edouard.
No. Edward. He's talking about Edward that came from Celtic over
Okay.
he's talking about Eddie Nketiah. That's what he's talking about. And Eddie Nketiah, who can't get into the Arsenal team, a team that struggles to score goals, is going to light it up for Palace. Look, I'm not gonna knock Eddie. Eddie is a lot of energy, athletic, a decent forward, but he couldn't get out Bamford at Leeds. I'm not sure he's gonna get out
Yeah, but he'll probably do
Edward.
better than Benteke, right?
Yes, he should have been Enteke. Yes, and Arsenal fans say he do mad at Palace, and yet I don't hear them screaming for him at Arsenal. I am challenged with that that
Yeah.
notion, but hey, you never know. Hopefully, he does really well. I think the kid is a good thing. Kid, he plays hard. He's always running, has a lot of energy. May have not gotten all the best opportunities out there, but when he has a chance to play, he hasn't really lighted up. So, um, yeah, we'll see what happens. Newcastle versus Brighton. Newcastle has been bought by billionaires, and they may get relegated. What are your thoughts?
Richest club in the league, richest club in the world, actually, aren't they?
They are. They're owned by a sovereign state. Yes, they're richest club in the the richest club in the world, and they may get relegated.
Yeah,
What are your
that
thoughts
that
on? You think they're going to lose to Brighton tomorrow?
yes, yes. I mean, Brighton's just one of those teams that are sometimes very underestimated. But if you
Right,
look at a lot of the games, um, that if you look at the 10 games that they've played so far, they're consistent in the way they play, the way they push, the way they fight for the ball, the way they play
right.
as a team. They're very consistent. Um, and it's very easy to let your guard down as Liverpool did last week against a team like Brighton. Um, so playing a team that's struggling like Newcastle, I can see that being at least 2-3 nil to Brighton against Newcastle. Newcastle
Yeah,
got to do a lot to change to get a victory.
they need a midfield and defenders, frankly. I mean, St.
Well,
Maximum and Wilson are good, but the rest of the team
I
is
know,
not
I
that good.
know, I know that like the latest news on them is Eddie Howe coming in and
Yes,
managing them. But he's not going to be there tomorrow. But you never know. That might give them because sometimes when a new manager comes in for at least the first 1, 2, maybe 3 games, that team plays like a house on fire. So maybe that might actually rub off that sort of feeling and thought and wanting to play better. You might actually see that tomorrow, but I still can't see them beating Brighton at this moment in time. But they may
yeah,
play
no.
better and look
Brighton
like
is a
a good
very good
team.
team. Brighton is a very good team. Very good team. We struggled with Brighton. We drew with them, but they probably should have beaten us. We struggled with them.
Everybody struggles with Brighton.
Yeah, I think they drew 12 games last year, or somewhere in that region.
Yeah,
They draw a lot of games. If they had better finishing, they'd probably much further up the table. Actually.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But they're the team that nobody really wants to play, to be honest.
Yep. Your thoughts on Tottenham versus Everton?
Well, where do you go from here? All right. I mean, both teams are looking to get that vital, brilliant, good-looking victory. Um, Everton under Rafa, I can't see them beating Spurs. But then again, Conte's come in now. Um, will we start seeing Kane actually wanting to play for the team? Um, I don't think he will. I think he's just going to play the same way he's been playing at the moment. Um, by hook or by crook, he's making sure he leaves Spurs. That's my opinion.
No, I actually don't see it in this game. Look, I don't think he started the season well in terms of how he wanted to play, but he wasn't that great in the Euro either. People forgot
No,
that it's only the second. He wasn't that great in the Euro. So was it a carryover, frankly, from the Euro versus him downing tools because he doesn't want to play? It could be a little bit of both. I think
yeah,
his head is someplace else.
but
Yeah.
sometimes when you feel that you're in a rut and you're not getting your way, and
Right.
you get into the habit of not wanting to do what you're good at, it carries over for a lot longer. So maybe that's what carried him into the England game as well. he just can't. Maybe he just can't get out of it at this moment in time because he might be that depressed. But then again, I don't know him personally, so it's just my opinion. I think he's just doing his best to get out of the team without making it that obvious.
Yeah, well, look, his manager doesn't play, right? He has a manager now who doesn't tolerate people. Ask Diego
Yeah,
Costa. So if he doesn't produce, he's going to be on the bench, no matter if
yeah,
he's worth 100 mil or whatever he's worth. Conte doesn't play that.
yeah.
So he
Conte
better get his
doesn't
game
play those
together.
games,
No, he
but then
doesn't.
again, Daniel Levy wants to make sure that if he does sell him, he's got to have him playing.
No, no,
So
no.
I can see,
Conte, Daniel Levy hired someone who doesn't respect authority. He doesn't think about authority. He's
yeah,
gonna do what he wants to do,
he's
and
about to get a rude awakening. Definitely going to get a rude awakening on that. Big
well,
time.
he leave, right? He only has an 18-month contract. He knows it's
Yeah,
a very short term contract, which is I'm not staying here long if this doesn't work.
exactly.
He's gonna leave in
But
18 months anyway, regardless. He's gonna leave
yeah,
he had a long term contract or not. Levy really made sure he really managed that situation well, which is I'm not giving you a long term contract. I have to pay you off like Chelsea did because I know there's
yeah.
going to be some explosion. You're going to get me where I want to get to, put me in the right trajectory, but this relationship is going to explode at some point.
I like the way Conte said that he was very enthusiastic about trying to get him back to the team because during the summer they went for him and he turned it down.
Yeah, well,
And ever since,
he's trying to, he probably told him in summer, you can't give me the money to go get who I want. I'm not signing for you.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
and
So I
Levy's
wonder
pretty
what
tight.
changed his mind.
Well, look, he's probably waiting for the Man U job, and that wasn't happening, right? There's no other really. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no other jobs out there. The Newcastle job, he doesn't want a rebuilding program. That's not what he does.
Yeah,
It affects your winning record also. You want to have when you retire on the best winning record. You want to also feel like you can win. And Newcastle may have been a better option for him long term, given the spending power that they have. And who knows, he may end up there eventually. He may sign a short term and say, you know what, if you can keep them up, I'll come join you next year.
well,
You get
well, as we know, Eddie Howe's going there. He's only been offered what, an 18-month contract, isn't
yeah,
it?
Eddie Howe
Which
is
is a
a
very
stopgap
short-term
manager.
contract.
Yeah, stopgap manager. Unless he
Yes,
wins and wins, which is not going to happen, just stopgap
nah,
manager.
they
They
just
both
want
have
him to
18
stop
month
the
contracts.
rot.
You notice that they both have 18-month contracts, right?
Yeah,
Is it coincidental? I don't think so. Uh, Andrew saying there are several clubs lacking a quality striker. Arsenal actually in good position, even though all theirs are not in top form. Yeah, we have Lacazette, we have Nketiah, we have Aubameyang, and put them all together to get a good striker. Um, put them all I know people think I'm harsh sometimes, but here's my view on that. So Lacazette is a good player, doesn't have the athleticism or score as frequently as he should. Aubameyang is a very good goal scorer, but can't play football. And people like you pretty harsh saying that. Yeah, he can't pass, he can't beat a man, he can't get between the lines as he should. He can't play football. He doesn't. He's not great in the air. He only scores goals. That's what he does. He's like the current Ronaldo. Even though Ronaldo is a better finisher. And then you have Nketiah, who has all the attributes, but they don't reflect when he plays. And so, as I say, you have three strikers who probably put them all together, looking for all the attributes you look for in a striker. They may make a good striker. Um, I know people think I'm harsh, but I struggle with Aubameyang because every time I see him trying to pass the ball, it goes to the opposite team, and that frustrates me as a footballer. Andrew saying Antonio Conte will be a spectacular failure or success. There is no in between. Hey, amen to that. I don't disagree with that. I think he'd be more successful than fail. He doesn't really fail. I think he doesn't get along with management at some point, but he didn't fail at Chelsea. Second season was the great. He won the league. He did well at Inter, but he's always falling out with management, right? Did well at he's won wherever he's gone to. He's just a very difficult character.
yeah, but you see, where you look at where he's gone to very good clubs who have a very good infrastructure. Yes, Tottenham have got a very good infrastructure,
Yeah.
but are they a very good club? I can't say that they are. I can't see them winning anything this season.
No, I don't. No, I don't see him. I know. I heard some Spurs fans talking about winning trophies, and they get all excited, as if Conte is playing. You think Conte was going to be a player?
Yeah,
He's only
he's
a,
that missing link. He's the missing link, mate.
and they haven't looked at their team to see that Hoiberg is one-dimensional, Skip is ordinary. What's his name? Can't get a game. The kid used to play for England. His name slipped me now. The
Ali.
Celso. No, not Ali, not Deli Ali. The other kid who plays CM. Ali is falling off. The Celso is not that great. They have a bunch of similar players. And then Bergwijn hasn't hit the ground running. He's challenged. I like Mora. Son is very good. Kane, we know what Kane brings to the table. But defensive, they're also trying to sort that out. Dyer is not that very good. They're not.
Best best player they got is, Loris. Loris, is it Loris? I can't even say his surname now.
Loris,
The
the
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper.
Loris, that's it. Yeah, he's their best player.
I think Ndombele is a good player. He's just not physically there. You have to play in the Premier League. You can play well in La Liga, where the game is a walk-up game. It's difficult when you have to run for 90 minutes continuous, given how he plays. But he's very, very skillful. He can make a pass and score a goal. Athleticism is a challenge for him, though. We'll see what happens there. What are your thoughts on the Leeds plays Leicester on Sunday also?
That there again, under Rodgers, I mean, he's obviously looking to bounce back from last week against you guys. I think Leeds, they've fallen down. You know, they've lost their way. I can't see them beating Leicester. It'd be nice, but I can't see them doing that. They're another team tipped, in my view,
All
in
right.
that relegation battle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have Phillips back. They have Rafinha now in the squad. Those two actually are their best players. Bamford has been out for a while, so I think that's affected them quite a bit actually,
Yeah,
because Rodrigo hasn't played really well up front. So I do think if they get all their pieces back, they should be able to avoid relegation. I mean, you do have Norwich, which is fighting with itself, it's competing against itself to get back down to championship as quickly as possible. You do you do have the Watfords of the world
I
who
think
are
that
gonna
was their target, right? Come into the
yeah,
Premiership and then go straight back down again with with relative ease. And to do that, you just got to lose enough games.
but you know they're spending the transfer window, right? They spent some money. I think they spent about 50 mil. They spent
Oh,
some
they spent.
money.
Yeah,
They
but
just
that's
didn't buy
nothing though.
well. They didn't buy well.
Yeah, but that's nothing. Look when Fulham came up, they spent a lot more than that.
They did. They did. They spent
They actually,
100 mil. I thought.
didn't they buy almost another 11 players to
Yeah, they
replace
bought. They
the
spent
players they
100
had?
mil. They spent 100 mil.
Yeah,
100 million pounds. Yeah, to go back down. But then you get
yeah,
that, that kicker when you go back down and come back up. So they'll probably come back
exactly.
up, given how they're playing. So no, I think Norwich has to change that dynamics though by how they operate. You can't keep doing the same thing all over again. I'm not sure how their fans deal with it when you keep getting relegated after you come up and you're not even competitive. Forget about that. And they dominate the championship, which is strange, right?
Well, do you know, sometimes when I look at that, sometimes I can think maybe there should be a league in between those two divisions, where
Right.
those teams who do well, they'll make enough money, and they're happy to stay there. Because yeah, when you look at Norwich, it's a yo-yo club. Yeah, they go up,
Right.
go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and the fans are happy when they go up, but they don't make too much noise when they go down. It's like, oh, they're not, they've gone up to the Premiership. They're going to earn a bit more money. Maybe we can buy an extra player for us to
Yeah.
be, to dominate the Championship when we go down. It's just really strange.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know how you change that. Thanks, Andrew, by higher wings. That's what I was thinking about. I'm not sure you
You need
change
to get
that.
rid of you need to get
Yeah,
rid of the manager. To be honest,
they will
Harry
probably. Actually, they will probably.
Harry Winks. Who's Harry Winks?
No, I just what I was thinking about when I was talking about Tottenham's midfield.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
played for
no, no,
England. He
no.
played for
That's
England, so he played beside Hoiberg or Skip took his game. But
to be honest, I forgot about Harry Winks.
they have a bunch of similar players. That's their problem. A bunch of similar players and no standout player that's playing there. Deli Ali was good at one point, and Dumbele was bought for a lot of money, with about 60 something mil. So he's our Pepe, but it hasn't worked out well for them at all.
Yeah,
So it makes it difficult. Arsenal against Watford. What are your thoughts?
Arsenal are
Hope,
going to keep rolling. Uh, Watford aren't good enough to stop that roll. To be honest, that'll be 3-0 to Arsenal.
I hope it's not a
Um,
banana skin, because our fans are getting a little bit, you know, excited about the
your
last
fans,
nine games.
are the worst fans ever, right? When Arsenal do well, you make up the most noise, yeah. But if they lose a game, you want to shoot them. You want to put them all in the firing line and just destroy them. You want to pull down everybody from the owners. To be honest, everybody cusses your owners anyway, right? But Arteta, he's the worst manager. He shouldn't be at Arsenal. Blah blah blah. I hate all these things about Arteta, but as soon as you lot go on a 2-3 game win, nobody's saying anything about Arteta. Oh, we're doing well. We're doing good. We're moving up. It's just like support your management, support your players. Yeah, they're playing for you guys. Yeah, yes, they're not going to get every result you want, right? But they're getting there. You know, they're getting there. Support them, and that's what I'd like to see from you Arsenal fans.
Well, Arsenal fans are used to excellence, and we have not been reflected excellence for a while now. We haven't been in Europe for what 2 years, and haven't been in the Champions League forever, which
Listen,
is
listen.
which we have been for every year. For when Wenger's time, we missed the Champions League once,
All right,
and now we can't
okay.
even
So
get close to it. We can't even sniff the Champions League because we can't get to the Europa League.
so let's put it this way, right? I would understand if there was 30 years of not being in the Champions League. Yes, if you lot get to 30 years, I'll understand that. Yeah, because Liverpool had 30 years of hurt.
30 years you were in the Champions League. I thought you
No,
were in the Champions.
30
No, you were in
years
the
of
Champions League,
30
not
years,
winning the Premier
30,
League,
yeah, 30 years of. We never won the Premier League. We
right?
won the First Division Championship. 30 years between both titles.
Yeah, but you won the Champions League during that period. We have never sniffed the Champions League. We heard about it. We had Sol Campbell score, and then we had Lehman get sent off. We haven't sniffed the Champions League
I was trying to
since
make it
since
easy, feel
no,
easier
no,
for you
no.
guys. I was trying to make it feel easier for you guys. Yeah. Yes, you haven't been in the Champions League for a while, but it's not that bad. As I said, it could be 30 years of not being in the
No,
Champions
it's
League.
bad. It's so bad that we're well rested, so we should do well in the. We're playing one major competition and two cup competitions, which I don't really care about, frankly, because we keep winning the FA Cup and nobody cares, except Arsenal fans who would say, well, Apollo would say, "We've won a trophy." I'm like, yeah,
A trophy's a
show me
trophy, man.
when you show me the Champions League, and I get excited. And right now we're so far away, you can't even see it on the horizon. It's like a distant star. You can't see. At least you're competing for the Champions League, and you're in good position this year. Your
Yeah,
competition
yeah.
maybe probably Bayern. I don't think PSG and or Real Madrid will beat Liverpool. I think Bayern may be a challenge for you.
Bayern
And
definitely.
Man City, Chelsea, Bayern. Yeah,
I can see an English club winning it again this season. To be
yeah.
honest,
It all depends on the draw, but I could see that happening.
yeah. To be honest, I mean, you look at the Spanish clubs. Um, the way they're playing, they don't even deserve to be in there. To be honest, especially Barcelona.
Yeah, if I was Guardiola, I would go rent somebody like Vardy for half a season to go win the Champions
Yeah,
League and then come
yeah,
back. Go rent
exactly.
him for half a season and say, "You want to win the trophy, Vardy? Come play for me for a season and a half. You're old now because you're not going to win anything at Leicester because you keep just
I
falling out the top four."
I just don't get why no one has actually gone for him yet like that because
Well, we tried
yeah,
to go for him and he turned us down, didn't he? We got him
well,
and he
well,
basically told us down. It was all done deal, he said, and he decided not to leave Leicester. So maybe it was a good thing because they've done well.
yeah,
Last
but
two
he's still
seasons they should have
banging
made
in
the top
goals though.
four,
Yeah,
huh?
but he's still banging in goals, and that's the thing.
He's still, and they've bought another striker to replace him, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Dako seems to be a good player, so they
yeah.
they they have a better strike force than we do actually.
Well, he's going to be Vardy's understudy, isn't he? I mean, the way if you look at
Yes,
the way they're playing at the moment, Vardy's coming towards the end of his career. He's
yeah,
clearly happy to finish his career at Leicester.
yep.
Um, it's a pity because it would be nice to see him at a better team, just finishing off that career. Getting one season. With City, Liverpool, Chelsea, any of those teams, even Arsenal.
You know how much goals he would
Yeah,
score with City? He would score a lot of goals playing for City.
yeah, but don't
He
tell
would get
Pep
a lot of
that, right?
chances.
Don't tell Pep that because he probably will go and buy him, and then they probably will dominate everything. Yeah, because we know that what they're missing is a proper number nine.
They are missing a number. I'm not sure why Pep doesn't see that. I mean, he has brilliant players all around. Most teams they dominate possession though. Even if they play Liverpool, they have more possession stats than Liverpool does, which is hard
Yeah,
to do.
but if you look at their goal spread, which club has more goal scorers across all those positions? With a team like that and a squad like that, sometimes you don't necessarily need a number nine. If everybody else is banging in the goals for you, what's the number nine?
Neil, here's where you need a nine. When you play the better teams. When you play the very elite teams, you need that differentiator in that position. Because what happens is Sterling, Foden, Torres, Jesus, none of them really have that nine DNA and be able to. You don't need a nine DNA because your wingers are prolific, right? Firmino
Yeah,
plays like a foil. Jota is a better scorer, so he's probably getting more game time. But
yeah, but you
Firmino
look at
plays like a nine, not a 10. Not a
yeah,
10, not
but
a
look
nine,
at
I
when
mean. Yeah.
Aguero was playing for City. A lot of those seasons he was playing for half the season because of injuries,
Yes. But
and
see,
they
Aguero
are
didn't get
still
along with Pep
dominating
though.
and still winning.
Yeah, but they didn't they have the Tevez way back when? Didn't they have a bunch of
Yep.
Jekyll? They had a bunch of people who could score goals and backup strikers. He brought in Jesus, who's not a true number nine.
I
That's
don't
part of
get
his
what
challenge.
Jesus is. I don't get him what he is
He
because
doesn't fit any place actually. He's very yeah,
he doesn't play him enough anyway.
true. He's playing him nowadays no more. They'll play him out wide more than anything else.
He doesn't have much of a choice right now, does
No, no.
he?
And Sterling's not playing well, but he has so many choices between Sterling and Mahrez on the bench. Silva wasn't playing last year. Silva is playing this year. He just
Yeah.
has, yeah, maybe because of injuries to
Ma-
good, but
Ma-
yeah,
yeah, Mahrez has got more. He's had more game time because at one point I thought that Mahrez wasn't going to play many games for them at all unless it was maybe a cup game. You know.
yeah. Andrew saying elite strikers are now more of a premium. I agree. You can actually name on two hands some of the elite strikers in the world, right? There's not a ton of them. A lot of good wingers, frankly, but I'm not sure about strikers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, exceptional strikers, I should say. They're good strikers, but I'm not sure about exceptional strikers.
I mean, our number nine, he spends more time getting assists and hardly scoring any goals.
Well, you have two nines nowadays, right? One's a nine and a half. Jota's a nine and a half, and Firmino's a nine, a true nine. No, I'm sorry, a 10. Firmino's a 10, and Jota is a nine and a half. So we'll see how that materializes as you go forward in terms of, but you don't need the goals from the nine and a half, though. You have Mani, you have
Salah,
Salah.
Jota.
Those two score for a joke. Jota scores a lot of goals. So
Firmino
and
helps them get those goals. So yeah, he's
he
doing
it
well
does it
where he's
does
doing.
help them actually. And you chip in with goals by your, Van Dijk will chip in here and there. You get goals
Yeah,
from
well,
different
set
places.
pieces, Alexander Arnold as well.
Arna was chipping. Ox probably chipping. He's getting more game time.
Oh,
Keita
I don't
chipped
know
in more
about Ox.
recently.
Yeah,
Ox will chip in. Ox has injury prone, but he'll chip in.
yeah.
He has
Keita,
to.
when Keita has a good game, he's shown how well he can score a goal. He can back it in.
Yeah, he's never
But
really
injuries have
fulfilled the
been there
promise.
again. Yeah,
Yeah, he's between not playing consistently well and or injuries has been his downfall.
exactly, exactly.
But some people don't fit in your team. I'm not sure Thiago fits in your team. He's a
Do
very
you know?
good player. I'm not sure he fits
I'm
in your
glad you
team.
said that. I'm glad you said that because Thiago's. I suppose he's as a midfielder, and when you look at skill, he's probably one of the best that we've got. But he just doesn't do it on the pitch. He I don't sometimes I don't even see him play. I know he's in the squad. I know he's on that pitch, but I just don't see him play. And it's really, really weird. And I kind of thinking, why have we got him? Why is
So
he
here's
here?
so here's the problem with your team with Thiago, which is you attack most of your attack plays come from the wings, right?
Yeah,
So through the middle, you need workers through the middle to win the ball back, get it to Robinson wide, get it to Alexander Arnold wide, get it to Firmino, and he does a good job of keeping the ball, but he's not going to break the lines with a pass, through the lines to get your wingers forward, and or get the ball out wide quickly. He doesn't have the leg speed in the middle. He was probably a more athletic at Bayern. He's getting older. So he doesn't
yeah.
really fit. Anderson's full of energy. Keita, not as much. Firmino is full of energy. Most of your players are full of energy, very energetic,
The,
very
the one thing that
hardworking.
we're missing, the one thing that we're missing from the spine is a midfielder who can pick players out. That's
Well,
what Liverpool
Fabinho
need.
can do that, but he's not played much of late. Fabinho can
I don't
pick a
think he's.
pass.
Fabinho is more of a defensive midfielder.
He is, but he picks a pass from deep. Even Henderson picks a pass from deep. I think you guys underestimate Henderson.
Henderson doesn't get enough.
Wijnaldum played at 9, at 10. Wijnaldum played a very unique role when he played with you, right?
Yeah, but he there again. He was a player who a lot of time was in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time, but he can't pick players out. I mean, you look at
No,
his
he didn't.
PSV,
He
he's
didn't.
struggling
He
now.
didn't. But
Yeah,
he would score a goal here and there, and he's always in the right place.
I
Always. He
know.
fit the system. He's a system. He fit the system like a
Yeah, I
glove.
keep saying this, but the one player that I think that we're missing that did really well in that central midfield was Coutinho. He was a
Oh,
player.
he was excellent.
He was a
He
player,
was
and Liverpool
excellent.
have not replaced him in central midfield. That's what
No,
they
but you know
needed.
why? He interchanged well with Firmino too. That whole Brazilian connection, that
Yeah, yeah,
linkage play,
yeah.
his link-up play was exceptional, and he
Ah,
could score a goal too.
exactly,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
that's what we're missing. That's just in the central midfield part. That's what we're missing. A player like that.
So who are you picking to win the league this year?
Of the
Yeah.
say it again, sorry.
Who are you picking to win the league?
Oh,
Are
win
you
the
picking?
league.
Yeah.
I say this to I don't really want to say this, but I can see City still doing it again.
Apollo
I
picking
see.
Chelsea. Cool K say Man City. You think City will?
I think City will. The one thing City have, even though Chelsea are playing well, Liverpool are playing well, United can play well, and they're capable of doing it as well. The one thing that City have over all those teams is the squad size and the amount of talented players they have.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to move that jigsaw around, take a piece out, put a play, another piece in, and they play almost exactly the same. Yeah, the other top teams can't do that. They cannot do that. You know,
Yeah.
so that's why I say City
Yeah.
just
I'm
gonna
picking
do.
Arsenal to win fifth place. I'm picking Arsenal to win fifth place. I think we'll win fifth place.
Oh,
That's our
thanks,
trophy.
8018. Yes, I would love to see Liverpool win it again.
Liverpool has as good a chance as any, right? If you stay
Oh
healthy,
yeah.
if Salah doesn't get injured, if you lose Salah or Mane, you may have some challenge to get there.
Well, we
Actually,
will do with the African nations
that's a month,
competition when
right?
that
Well, it
comes up.
depends on how
Yeah.
COVID works out in Africa. COVID may preclude you. You never know. I mean, the way things are going in Africa, they haven't necessarily. Some countries like Tanzania, for example, have not even got vaccines. They
Yeah.
were denying
Yeah.
COVID exists. So it all depends. I mean, people are going there for World Cup qualifiers, but it's not a surety.
Yeah.
But you're right. A lot of teams, we will lose Partey for a month, actually, and Aubameyang.
Yeah.
We're going to lose players. So we need to keep all. A lot of teams will lose key players. You lose Mane and Salah.
Actually, City won't lose many players, will they?
No, they won't lose.
See?
Maybe Mares was easily replaceable for them. They're not going to lose any significant player.
There you go. So come on, when all the other teams are weakened,
Yeah,
their closest rivals, they're just as strong.
yeah, they only lose Mares. If I look at your entire
Yeah.
team, I don't see any key players they lose. You lose key players in your two white players, and Keita probably if he's
Yep.
recovered. We
Keita,
will
Mane,
lose
Salah.
Partey, Aubameyang. Big losses actually.
Yeah.
Chelsea will Chelsea lose anyone? That I can recall. No, I don't think so. Not
No,
really.
they won't. No, they won't. They won't.
Yeah, they won't
They
lose
won't.
anyone. Will Manu lose anyone? Not that I can think of. Top of my head, I
Yeah.
don't think Manu loses anyone. So it's only
No,
us and
that's
you
not
and
right. Yeah, that's not right. That's not fair.
yeah, that's interesting actually in terms of what teams get materially affected.
I suppose there's
Um,
one way around it. Get your top players to say that they haven't had the double jab.
I don't think that works because those fans in those countries will say they're not committed. They're
Yeah.
not. They'll get a very hard times. They are choosing money over country. And
Yeah,
you know how
exactly.
nationalism works, right? Greenwood
Yes.
just decided he didn't want to go to for this call up, and he's getting a lot of flack from the press, right? So who
Yeah.
knows? Any last words, Lee, before we conclude?
Um, yeah, hopefully all the top teams apart from Liverpool will lose. And we'll be able to gain at least 3 points against Chelsea. Um, seriously, I'm hoping that this weekend of games is going to be a lot better than last weekend because last weekend was a bit disappointing. As I said, I only got 27 points in my final fantasy compared to the week before where I got 94. So I'm hoping to get more points, basically.
So, do you pick favorites, or are you picking? You just pick generally?
Um, I pick what I can afford, basically. But yeah, I mean, I've got a pretty good team. Yeah, I suppose I could change a few. At the moment, I'm looking at taking Ings out because Ings is injured, and my second goalie Raya, he's also injured as well. So I was
Oh, that's a killer,
in the
isn't it?
process, yeah, in the process of trying to change plays around. But then again, if I can make some money elsewhere, I might change a few players. I mean, I've got players like Alexander Arnold, Diaz as well, Cresswell. They're all good players to have, but then I've got Amate next to him as well, which is he's not doing that well at the moment. So, and
No,
then I've also got
no.
Grealish as well. He's got to go. Grealish has to go.
So wait, I don't understand. You don't have any Arsenal players in your team? There is no Ramsdale in your team?
Do you know what? That's what I was looking to see if I can afford some players because I do need to change some players. But then again, I look at who's playing well, and if I can afford them, they go in my squad.
But Ramsdale can't be that expensive, can he?
Um, do you know? I haven't checked. You know, I should actually. Let me just have a quick check. Uh,
Ramsdale, Gabriel, those two should be good purchases.
where are we?
Ramsdale can't be that expensive. He
Yeah,
wasn't
let's see.
that one. Yeah.
Goalkeepers. Here we go. Right, Ramsdale. Where are you? He's 4.7 actually. He's 4.7. Araya is 4.5. You see, I can't swap.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't got enough money, and that's what I'm saying. I
So you
need to make
you
money.
maxed out then. You can't. You got to leave something in the kitty. You
Yeah,
maxed
yeah,
out.
I've got to. I've got to.
All
But I'll
right,
sort
Neil.
that.
All right. Well, thanks, Neil. Thanks for joining me this evening. Seemed like
Been a blast.
we were yeah. I totally enjoyed the conversation. Thanks everyone for joining us. It's hopefully, as Neil suggested, we'll have a good list of games this weekend. West Ham play Liverpool. We play Watford, and the premier game of the weekend will be Man City against Man U. And I'm sure the noisy neighbors will give them a hard time. So thanks for joining us. Great to be here. Hopefully we're back next week, and hopefully for Liverpool, who I don't dislike Liverpool by the way, and Arsenal, that we have a great weekend. Thanks everyone,
Yes,
and
yes.
thanks Neil. Have a great
Thanks a
weekend.
lot.
All
Okay,
right,
take
thanks.
care.